think people have been asking for a remake of Halo 1 since Halo 2 was announced.
I like to go all the way back to the day that Xbox Live came out, and the demand for Halo 1 and the ability to play, say, co-op over Xbox Live kind of started, and it built up over the years and over the years.
It was the perfect timing since the 10-year anniversary was coming up.
It occurred to us that there's this entire generation of people who never played the original game. If you're an 18-year-old gamer today, you were 8 when Halo came out.
We did due diligence on a number of partners.
The number one requirement was that it didn't impact gameplay at all.
You have a classic, you have something that's just magical, right? If you go and tinker with it, you're going to lose that magic.
What we really needed was someone who could work with our existing physics and gameplay engine.
Saber popped up really quickly.
They're like, yeah, we can do this. We can make the game look like a current generation game, and we can do it by using the original Halo 1 engine.
The gameplay in Halo 1 is what's called deterministic. In other words, if you feed the engine the same input, the game will behave in the same way. And if you can apply this principle across a network, you can have two game worlds completely in sync.
So rather than simulate Halo's original gameplay or Halo's original physics, we're able to actually use them completely.
So the car is nice and shiny, but the engine is fairly old, but so we had to make sure that it all kind of fits together. And then we had to speed up the engine to make sure it works in today's world.
We've done some deliberate things. The library is easier to navigate now. We use lighting and textures to make it a little bit simpler.
The pillars are covered in holograms on one side, or they're more decorated on the other side. From what we've noticed, it actually seems to help people that aren't familiar with the library figure out where they're going.
Truth and Reconciliation is one of the best examples I can give. If you come to that first interaction and then you make your way towards a cliff, you can look up and see this unbelievable skybox. And so having all these updated graphics has really made the game, to me, just more immersive.
I still remember the first time I saw someone switch to graphics. I didn't know that was actually going to be a feature until I saw someone do it.
In a lot of ways, it was a very, very fine balancing act. Because again, we're running all the original Halo 1 animations, so it's the original Halo 1 skeletons for those characters needed to be rebound into the updated meshes that we had brought over from Halo Reach and from Halo 3. For example, the Elite actually has an elongated neck, so they're a little bit more squat and compact.
Cracking the case in 30 seconds.
Welcome back, sir. We'll have you battle ready static.
Master Chief's iconic, and he has to look like a hero, and he has to look just right.
Chief's armor was a tough process. We went back and forth on that for a long time.
Originally, we were using a Mark V armor that's built in the multiplayer component of Reach. We just kept coming back, and it just didn't look like Master Chief.
The first stuff we put out around E3, I think the forum reaction was instantly, Chief looks wrong, his visor's too big, the color's all wrong.
Some people thought we were doing it intentionally as a retro. If you saw the original Chief from like 1999 era, he had a really tall, very matte reflective helmet. It actually looked similar to that.
The thing about this group working on this project is that we are very, very passionate about getting this right.
We iterated on that probably 6-7 months before we finally got a final Chief's armor that I think looks awesome.
One of the number one asks that we had for a Halo remake was we want co-op over live.
The original Halo 1 campaign experience had already been designed for cooperative play. You notice when you're getting out of the initial cryotube, there's actually 2 cryotubes for the first cinematic.
It definitely creates another challenge for us when you're playing with somebody else, but we obviously wanted to support that.
The code base was built 10, if not 15 years ago, so we had to figure out how this code base is structured, how it was designed.
We had a lot of people work really long hours to make it happen and to really code it ultimately from scratch.
It's pretty seamless, so you'll go into the campaign lobby and there you'll see your friends who are online playing the game.
You fire off an invite to a friend and they'll be able to join you,
allowing you to play what was originally a split-screen cooperative campaign experience, now across live.
Skull on.
Classically, skulls in Halo tend to affect behavior, which means the AI needs to support those behavioral changes.
How do we create something that alters gameplay? Well, one of our fundamental tenets is keeping gameplay the same.
Skulls are one of the tools we're giving the player that if they do want to change their gameplay experience a little bit, they can do it.
The benefit to this is that most of these skulls are brand new. You've never seen them before, you've never played them.
Like Malfunction, where random HUD elements disappear whenever you respawn. Boom is a skull that increases the radius of explosions, making explosions more dangerous both for the Covenant and for the player. That in combination with something like Grunt Funeral means that you become very afraid of grunts.
We must continue. This way, please.
There are a few features that got into the game that turned out better than we expected, and 3D is probably the number one. It was unexpected, it was a bonus, and I don't see 3D very well, but it really worked for me. So for some reason it just pops in Halo in a way that it doesn't in other games or even movies.
Yeah, I'd say the feature that surprised me the most was Connect.
So we've got a number of voice commands throughout the course of the game. Things like grenade, reload. At a point during the game when you're playing, You can say analyze, and this mode comes up where you can almost capture items. So you move your cursor over, say, an elite or a grunt, and in the library, you can go in there and see the things you've captured, move the model around in 3D, and it gives you a bit of a breakdown and explanation of what those characters are.
For me, when I think about Halo, I think about looking around and just the scope and the scale of everything.
This is the game that started it all, and people can really dive in and play and remember what it was like to play it 10 years ago, and if you didn't play it 10 years ago, you can see what it was like 10 years ago.
It's the quintessential walk down memory lane with a much better visuals.
Ultimately, the thing you learn is it doesn't just look modern, it feels completely modern.
Completely remastered campaign, great additional features like co-op over live, skulls, terminals, 3D, Connect, and multiplayer.
Once you see it for yourself, I don't know, really, it's a pretty awesome experience.
There's a lot of stuff in there for $40. We're actually really excited about the fact that there's so much there, and it's a real smorgasbord of stuff for people who enjoy Halo.
What is a Halo? Well, that depends on who you ask. In the original Halo trilogy, we learn that the Covenant will tell you they are sacred objects, and activating them will lead to salvation.
In a moment I will light the rings, and all who believe shall be saved.
Humans will tell you they're actually giant weapons that lead to utter destruction. The reality is, Halos destroy all sentient life within a 25,000 light-year radius, which is why Master Chief wants to shut them down and the Covenant want to stop him. Some of the Forerunner worshipping Covenant known as the Elites also learn the Halo's true purpose and help Master Chief. But Halo's gonna Halo, and stopping the second one from firing sets off a failsafe that activates all the Halos in existence. At the end of Halo 3, Chief stops the process by setting off a partially reconstructed replacement Halo and destroys it along with the super bad parasite aliens known as the Flood, and ends up stranding himself and Cortana in deep space.
If we don't make it,
We'll make it.
The new Halo trilogy begins with Master Chief and Cortana floating along in the remains of the Forward Unto Dawn. Cortana wakes Chief up just as a bunch of Covenant board the vessel. Chief manages to nuke one of their ships as the planet they're orbiting opens up a gravity well, which then sucks them all in.
Can you track the escape pods?
negative! Look out!
Chief crashes onto the planet with the rest of the ships and debris, and when he wakes up again, Cortana is glitching out like a copy of GoldenEye inserted halfway into an N64.
Childhood, your future.
Cortana.
Concerned for Cortana, Chief vows to get her back to Earth so creator of the Spartans, Dr. Halsey, can make her right again. Of course, that's easier said than done because they have no idea where they are, and all the ships capable of getting them somewhere else are now in flaming piles all around them. Cortana finds a signal from the UNSC ship Infinity,
I got it.
which works out perfectly since those Maroon soldiers are pretty eager to get back to Earth too. Unfortunately, she can't receive the full signal, so Chief does some super soldiering, battling a new enemy known as the Prometheans, and takes out the towers jamming up the signal.
It's working. The signal from the relay is starting to clear up.
After he succeeds, the Forerunner known as the Didact appears and lets Chief and Cortana know that the Forerunners are back, baby, and humanity is just too weak to be part of his squad.
The Forerunners have returned.
The Covenant are quick to join forces with the Didact, and since they worship him as a god, he figures, sure, why not? Chief escapes with Cortana's help and makes contact with the Infinity. On his way to destroy the gravity well, preventing them from escaping, Chief meets the ghost of the Librarian, the wife of the Didact. She's on humanity's side and grants Chief immunity from the Composer, a device the Didact uses to convert living organisms into machine code. He plans to use the Composer to enslave humanity because he is a galactic jerk. With the gravity well gone, the Infinity can escape, and its captain, Andrew Del Rio, doesn't really think the Prometheans are that big of a deal, and orders the ship back to Earth.
We've seen what the Didact is capable of. If we let him leave this world, humanity will be at risk.
I understand what you think you saw.
Think?
With all due respect, sir, I know what I saw.
And with all due respect to you, soldier, I'm not willing to jeopardize my ship because of the hallucinations of an aging Spartan and his malfunctioning AI.
The Didact has to be stopped. If you won't do that, I will.
Chief sticks around to stop the Didact. The Composer is kept at a UNSC research station outside of one of the Halo rings, and the Didact is able to seize control of it. Chief finds his way onto the Didact ship and locates it. The Didact, true to form, then fires the Composer at New Phoenix on Earth. While Chief is vastly underpowered compared to the Didact, there are few problems that can't be solved with the help of a nuclear device. So Cortana overwhelms it with the power of love, and Chief detonates a tactical nuke in the Composer's core, destroying it. Cortana uses up the last of her power to transport Chief out of harm's way, and everyone has a good cry.
Welcome home, John.
Chief returns to the Infinity and returns to his duty as a soldier to protect humanity.